What up YouTube, it's your boy Ace, also known as version 1v1, and I'm bringing you a gaming commentary. The game you're about to see in a few moments is Castlevania Lords of Shadows. Game's been out for quite a bit of while, but I thought I'll revisit this game. I'll show you some gameplay, because it sort of segues into a bit of discussion I will have with you guys out there. But anyway, let's just stick to the gameplay for a bit. If you haven't played this game before, I highly recommend you get it. The game is basically a third-person action-adventure fantasy game with a touch of RPG. Nothing too much, but such a good game. And also, I want to point out it's story-driven as well, and I love story-driven games. If you guys love story-driven games, you love this. And the other thing I want to point out as well, you hear the narration there. Yes, it is. Yes, it is the guy, Sir Patrick Stewart. Ooh, beautiful. Jean-Luc Picard doing the voice right there for the narration. Fits so well in this game, and it's just magnificent. And also, I want to also point out the guys behind the development also were lucky to work in a productive collaboration with the great Hideo Kojima, and that's the if you didn't know who that was, that's the guy behind the Metal Gear Solid series. And also big news as well, trophy patch Metal Gear Solid 4 came out this week. Really excited about that, and I've been playing a bit of Metal Gear Solid, getting a few trophies, and I've done quite a bit, but I'll be showing you some of that gameplay in the future. But let's just stick with this for now. And I actually enjoyed playing this game so much, I went out and I bought all the DLCs, because you know, a lot of times, I mean, the PlayStation Network or Xbox Live Marketplace, they might post a DLC out there, and if you like a game so much, sure, you can wait until the DLC maybe might be on promotion or special offer, is what I did. But if you really want to get a DLC, and a lot of times I've seen that they've actually had the DLC's been there, but because people haven't bought the DLC, they've just taken it off, and it's such a shame. If you didn't already know, this is actually a reboot of Castlevania. Castlevania is quite an old school game, and a lot of times they don't do reboots really well, and with this they've done an exceptional job. And also, I checked out the trailer for Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, and phenomenal. Ooh, can't wait for that game. I actually haven't finished playing this game because I still need to go through all the chapters and talk to them on Paladin difficulty, but I'll definitely do that as well. And the other thing I want to say as well, you might have already known this, but they also released Castlevania Harmony of Despair. I wasn't happy with that game. They've gone back to the original styling, and it was just terrible. The other good thing about this game that a lot of people don't think about is the camera and the way the camera works. Because a lot of times, like for example, I played games like Devil May Cry 2, the camera was just horrendous in that game back in the days, and I hated that game for that one aspect. But in this, it's done really well, because a lot of times, like you might have played like Dante's Inferno, and when you're climbing obstacles and you're in certain missions, the camera pans out and it shows you the sheer magnitude of the actual environment that you're actually going in, and you're basically a small little dot in this massive giant world. I love when they do that, because it shows you a different perspective of where you wouldn't actually see that in normal games, and that's a great thing to do in this game as well. The other thing I want to segue into, which was TV shows that I mentioned before, I love my supernatural fantasy TV shows. I mean, fucking love them, but I criticise them for the direction they've taken. I mean, I love Vampire Diaries. I've been a huge fan of Vampire Diaries. A lot of people criticise the Vampire Diaries and say it's basically Twilight for a more mature audience, and I understand where they're coming from. The whole thing with Elena, Stefan and Damon, the whole love triangle going on there, similar, but there's so much more to the story than that. And, I mean, that's one show I really enjoyed watching, and I'm still waiting for the new season to come out. It's going to be freaking awesome, because if you didn't watch I'm not going to put any spoilers out there, but if you didn't watch the last season, wow, it ended on such a big crucial moment, and I was like, oh my, what the happened? Shit. And the other thing I want to point out as well, you're seeing me fighting these werewolves in this game, and yeah, I've started watching Teen Wolf, the MTV show. Brilliant show, I have to point out. I really enjoyed watching it, and but the trouble is, again, I want to point out the direction they've taken. The first season was absolutely spot on. I love watching the first season, the whole thing with the whole alpha and stuff. Second season now, what they've done, they've introduced some sort of lizard creature. If you haven't seen it, it's basically called a Kanama. I don't want to put any spoilers out there, but I'll just briefly mention that as well. I don't get it. I mean, one of my friends sort of pointed out, you know, basically werewolves are shapeshifters, and the person inside, the person who they are, reflects the person that they transform into. Sort of makes sense, but I just didn't like the direction they took that show in. And the other thing I want to point out as well, a different show as well, which also features werewolves, True Blood. I also love watching True Blood. It started off really great. I mean, if you're gonna stick with like werewolves and vampires and all that sort of stuff, that's great. That's great. But don't start introducing things like fairies, demons, and now like I mean the newest thing that they've introduced is something called the Afreet, and I was like, what the hell is this? Really? They're trying to branch out, look into different sort of things, and the whole thing, the story doesn't suit me. I mean, the only show which suits, where I actually find totally acceptable, is Supernatural. Just from the start, they're like, you know, we're gonna deal with ghosts, werewolves, vampires, demons, angels, whatever. We'll deal with it. And I was like, I'm happy with Supernatural and whatever they do with that show, because they made it clear from the start where we want to just be this show and we are a mixture. Teen Wolf, stick with werewolves. True Blood, stick with vampires. Vampire Diaries, stick with vampires. And that's what I want the shows to do. Don't try to change too much. Change is great, but too much change is stupid. Anyway, I hope you like this gameplay. I've tried to include all different aspects of the game. You're watching right now the fight between me and the Black Knight, I believe that's what it's called. And going back and doing all the trials that need to be finished off as well. The fight that you saw before was the fight with the mechanical spider, which was kind of a cool fight that I thought I'd put in this video as well. Some stuff at the start was basically all stuff with the werewolves. Tried to include the vampire stuff, but the fight's way too long. If you want to see the boss fights I had with the other Lords of Shadows, just let me know, and I'll post that as new videos. But anyway, I hope you like the gameplay, and I hope you're as pumped as I am for the next Castlevania. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, it really helped me out. This has been version 1v1. Peace out.